What if just one cold snap, one late spring frost, was enough to wipe out 25% of the pears grown for America's most iconic fruit jar? No warning, no second bloom, just rows of silent orchards and supermarket shelves sitting eerily empty. That's the very real risk facing the $450 million canned pear business built by Libby's, a household name that has turned ripe, golden pears into a year-round pantry essential for generations. But Libby's fruit empire depends on tight harvest windows, delicate blossoms, and climate cooperation, factors that are becoming more volatile by the year. When the blossoms freeze, there's no fruit. When there's no fruit, processors idle. And when processors stall, the ripple hits consumers, retailers, and export markets overnight. Welcome to Agri 360X, airing daily at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., where we unpack the high-stakes world behind every jar of Libby's pears, and explore how farmers, scientists, and supply chain strategists are fighting back against frost, drought, labor shortages, and shifting consumer demand. Because sometimes, it's not just a pear in a jar, it's a climate gamble in a glass container. 4,000-year legacy, sealed in syrup, the global story of processed pears. For more than 4,000 years, humans have cultivated pears, first in the foothills of ancient China, then in the orchards of the Roman Empire. Praised for their subtle sweetness, silky texture, and digestive benefits, pears were once considered a fruit of the elite, served at imperial banquets and immortalized in herbal texts and poetry. Today, that ancient legacy lives on, in a can. The global processed pear market now exceeds $1.2 billion annually, fueled by consumer demand for canned pears that offer long shelf life and year-round convenience, purees used in baby food, baking, and beverages, value-added snacks like dried pear chips and clean-label fruit blends. At the center of this modern market is one unmistakable name, Libby's. With its signature honey-sweet syrup and consistently tender fruit cuts, Libby's has become a benchmark of quality in American households. It doesn't just lead the category, it dominates it, holding more than 60% of U.S. retail market share in canned pears. But behind that dominance lies a high-wire act. Libby's depends on tight harvest windows, weather-sensitive crops, and processing precision measured in hours, not days. In a world where climate instability is rising and supply chains are under strain, even this timeless fruit faces a modern question. Can heritage keep up with volatility? A fragile footprint, where Libby's pears really come from. Behind every golden slice of Libby's pear lies a story of precision sourcing and geographic vulnerability. Each year, Libby's depends on over 40 million pounds of fresh pears, sourced primarily from just two regions: California's Sacramento Valley, known for its fertile soils and long growing season, and Oregon's Hood River Valley, prized for its cool nights and elevation-driven sweetness. This tight geographic footprint allows Libby's to maintain a consistent flavor, texture, and supply rhythm, key for mass-scale canning, but it also creates a dangerous bottleneck. When your supply comes from a sliver of the map, any disruption becomes a system-wide threat. Wildfires can sweep through orchards or shut down logistics corridors. Droughts stress trees, reduce fruit size, and delay harvest. Record-setting rains can trigger flooding, disease outbreaks, and transport chaos. In an era of escalating climate volatility, one regional disaster doesn't just threaten local growers. It can jeopardize Libby's entire annual production plan and ripple through shelves, exports, and holiday meal traditions across the country. In short, when you can the whole season in 6 weeks, there's no room for error. Pear blossoms are vulnerable to temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius during April bloom. A late frost can kill 30 to 50% of flowers, collapsing potential yields. Conversely, summer heat spikes above 38 degrees Celsius led to sun scald and poor fruit set, forcing growers to weigh the cost of frost fans and shade nets against potential lost revenue. Codling moth larvae, pear scilla, and fire blight can devastate orchards within weeks. A severe outbreak of fire blight in 2015 cost Pacific Northwest growers $25 million in lost fruit and replanting, underscoring the tension between pesticide use, organic certification, and ecosystem health. Large Libby's contract farms can invest in frost protection and IPM, while smaller growers struggle to afford nets or regular scouting. Without cooperative support, many family orchards risk falling behind, threatening rural economies and Libby's contracted supply base. For canning, pears must be harvested at precise sugar, 11-12 brix, and firmness levels. Manual picking preserves fruit integrity, but caps throughput at 8 tons day per crew. Mechanical harvesters push 30 tons day but bruise fruit, raising cull rates and jeopardizing puree quality. Libby's Henderson TX plant processes over 100 tons hour, but any downtime on wash lines or blanketing stations halts the flow, and each minute lost can cost $10,000 in idle fruit and labor. Post-2015, Libby's expanded sourcing to Washington State and small grower cooperatives in Michigan. Combined with strategic backstocks and climate-controlled warehouses, this diversification shields the brand from a single region calamity. Partnering with UC Davis, Libby's helped develop the Autumn Blush pear, a cultivar with deeper roots and a compressed harvest window, allowing growers to bring in fruit before peak heat or fall frosts. Drip irrigation tied to soil moisture sensors delivers water only where roots need it, cutting water use by 35% and ensuring consistent fruit size. Cover crops like vetch and mustard rebuild organic matter and suppress soil-borne pathogens between pear cycles. Libby's now supports on-farm solar-cooled staging rooms. Crews harvest in phases, cool fruit to 4 degrees C within 2 hours, and then truck it to the canning plant, reducing post-harvest loss by 40% and preserving texture for canning. Robotic CIP, clean-in-place systems sterilize high-speed wash tunnels between batches, while AI-driven cameras detect blemishes or stems, ensuring each pear meets Libby's exacting standards at line speeds up to 120 FPS. Traditional tin cans with plastic liners guarantee 24-month shelf life, but face criticism for recyclability. Libby's pilots compostable liners within steel cans and tests lightweight glass jars to balance longevity with circular economy goals. New paper aluminum composite cans, fully curbside recyclable, maintain puree quality for up to 18 months. Early trials show consumer acceptance above 85% and a 20% reduction in packaging carbon footprint. Libby's Pear Path QR codes link each jar to orchard GPS, harvest date, sugar profile, and processing batch, letting consumers and chefs verify provenance and encouraging premium positioning. Beyond standard puree, Libby's markets spiced pear compotes, ready-to-blend smoothies, and gluten-free pear flour, capturing up to 4 kilos versus $1.50 for basic puree and smoothing revenue across seasons. Libby's sponsors Pear Fest events at partner orchards, offering you-pick, farm-to-jar experiences, and cooking demos. These festivals generate 5 to 10% extra seasonal income for small growers and deepen brand loyalty. Interplanting pears with nectar-producing cover crops supports pollinators, while compost tea drenching and no-till buffer strips sequester 1 ton CO2e annually and enhance orchard resilience. Using AI-driven weather models and bloom stage analytics, Libby's agronomists advise growers on optimal spray and irrigation timing, reducing frost damage risk by 60% and improving on-time harvest rates. Which innovation would you bet on to save the pear industry? If you were running a pear orchard or a processing plant under climate pressure, which innovation would you pilot first? Diversified sourcing to reduce geographic risk? Precision irrigation to stretch every drop during drought? Recyclable packaging to future-proof against sustainability demands? Drop your answer in the comments. We want to hear what matters most to you. And what shocked or surprised you most about the hidden risks behind every can of pears? Like this video if you learned something new. And don't forget to subscribe to Agri 360X, airing daily at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. for your next deep dive into the innovation, resilience, and pressure shaping the future of global food.